So my next thing, Jordan, I previously on the show, previously on Spur of the Moment podcast,
Last
uh,
time on Spur of the Moment.
we talked about Kinnikuman, which is, for those of you who don't know, a anime from the 1980s and manga from Japan about professional wrestling. Well, initially it starts off. It's a parody comic of Ultraman specifically, and it turns into a parody of more of a serious minded anime about professional wrestling, and I wanted to watch more of it, and I wanted to talk about more of it because I find it to be an utterly fascinating show, and having now watched a bunch of what I would consider to be more modern anime versus 1980s anime, I think that Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z suffers from this as well, which is 1980s anime has bad pacing, just horrendous pacing, where shit that like in a modern day anime they would resolve in an episode or maybe two episodes takes 5 bajillion fucking episodes for them. Like there's just certain arcs where it's like, oh my god, this show could have been like 20 episodes shorter if you didn't spend 5 episodes of them standing in a wrestling ring monologuing and saying the same. Like a lot of it is just reiterating and repeating shit that they've already said, because you got to remember they're watching this on television and there's no cable, there's no rewatching it, there's no recording, so they have to re-explain a lot of shit, so it makes it feel very slow. But I wanted to finish that. I wanted to finish the original series. And frustratingly, there was a project to subtitle all of Kinnikuman. But most things I read online were like, you should stop at episode 118. Because from that point on, it's just filler. But I was like, completionist me, I need to finish the whole thing. So I got up to episode like 125, and I had like 3 episodes left, and I was like, it had done this arc where he was just fighting another group of bad guys disguised as good guys, and then I was like, there's like 5 episodes left, and I'm like, how is there 5 episodes of this left? We're still like in the middle of this arc. And so then I'm Googling it, and it turns out that they don't have the last like 4 or 5 episodes subtitled, because this project they gave up on episode like 24 apparently. So, and I was in the middle of this filler arc, and I was like, well, there's no real point in finishing this, so I just kind of gave up. So one day I will finish when it all gets dubbed. I will finish all of the original Kinnikuman, but I didn't.
Or when you're fluent in
I
Japanese and
mean,
can watch it without
I
subs.
couldn't find them.
Whatever happens first.
I couldn't find the episodes period, let alone with English subtitles. So I had to give up. So I started. So after the original Kinnikuman, there is another series. Basically, they took a hiatus and they came back and they did the final arc of the anime, which is Kinnikuman Scramble for the Throne. And I don't know how much you remember about Ultimate Muscle, but you remember his Kid Muscle's uncle, who was an army guy.
Yes, that sounds familiar.
That's where he comes from.
Huh.
So basically, the final storyline of Kinnikuman, the original Kinnikuman
Introduces
anime,
his long lost brother.
I don't know if in the original Japanese if they're actually brothers. That has yet to be revealed because I didn't finish it. But basically what that storyline is Kinnikuman is about to become king of Kinniku Planet, King Muscle. He's about to become King Muscle.
I think you mean Muscle Planet, Justin.
And in order to become anointed as king of the Chojins, basically, he needs to get acceptance from all the Chojin gods, who all give him their blessing, except for the 6 evil gods, who are like the god of strength, the god of strategy, the god of grip. I can't remember. And they all give their. Basically, it turns out that when he was a baby, there was a fire at the hospital, and Kinnikuman got mixed up with a bunch of the other babies, and in a hurry, each of them just kind of grabbed a baby. So it's unclear as to whether or not Kinnikuman is actually the correct heir, or if one of these other guys is. So these evil spirits all give them powers. So he's Kinnikuman Kinnikuman Army. One of them is Kinnikuman Gazelle, or the Kinnikuman Tiger, and he's like a tiger. He's got Kinnikuman's mask. One of them is like Kinnikuman, but he's a black guy.
僕は筋肉性の王子かもしれないって。
あの火事の時、私は夢中でお前を抱き上げたが、本当は卓様を助けたのかもしれない。
母さん。
そうだとしたら許しておくれ。許して。
母さん、母さん、母さん、母さん。
間違いなくこの匂いは王子だ。
フェニックスマンよ、泣いている時ではない。筋肉性の大王になるために、お前にこの知性の神が力を貸す。お前は今から筋肉マンスーパーフェニックスと名乗るがよい。パワフルマンよ、お前にはこの技の神が力を貸そう。お前は今日から筋肉マンゼブラと名を変えるのだ。クジャマンよ、お前にはこの残虐の神が力を貸す。筋肉マンソルジャーと名乗れ。よし、やったるぜ。の神が力を貸す。お前は今日から筋肉マンビッグボディと名乗るのだ。待てー！ネストジョージ！すごいジャンプ力だ。ヌスットジョージ、気象の神が力を貸す。お前が王位継承候補最後の一人、筋肉マンマリポーサだ。
And they all have to have basically what is a battle royale where it's team based. So they each,
Battle of the Kinnikumen.
Kinda, yeah. It was the setup of it. I was confusing because it was like they all have teams, and their teams fight each other, but they don't fight each other. It doesn't seem. And so then they all have teams, but Kinnikuman, because he joins at the last second, doesn't have a team. So his team is him, Meat, and one other person, and it's like the all the other good the Justice Chojin. Kinnikuman's like, why can't you help me? And they're like, oh, we can't help you because we're part of the Chojin Commission, and that would be showing favoritism to you. But it's one of those storylines where it's just really obvious they're going to show up and join up with him later. So But yeah, I watched 3 arcs since I talked about this last. There was the golden mask and silver mask. There's a lot of arcs involving masks, but there's the golden arc and the silver mask arc where it turns out that they retcon where the Chojins come from multiple times. But the first storyline is that basically there was 2 original Chojins who both wore a gold and silver mask. The gold mask of good and the gold mask of evil and the silver mask of good. And when they are apart, all of the Chojins lose their powers. And so the evil guy of that arc steals the golden mask, and they have to beat. It's the same thing like in Ultimate Muscle when they showed up and there was the different kid muscles, and they all turned out to be same deal. They're all wearing golden masks, and they all have to beat them all. And I'm pretty sure that's when you get introduced to Buffalo Man and a bunch of various guys from there. And that's where you get introduced to the Devil Chojin, the Akuma Chojin. And it turns out that once they defeated the Devil Chojin, that the Devil Chojin work for the Devil Knights Chojin. And they all work for them. And the Devil Knight Chojin, that's where you get, Sunshine?
Yes.
That's where Sunshine comes from. He's a Devil Knight Chojin. And they end up going. There's a major arc where they go inside of a Wars Man, the robot guy. They go inside him, and they do a bunch of fights inside of him on like multiple. This is where I'm like the pacing of this. It gets to a point where characters fight each other repeatedly over and over again, and it gets to be kind of dull. Where like they fight all of these guys inside of Wars Man. That's where I kept telling you there's a character. His name is Ashura Man, and he's basically this is gonna be offensive, but he's basically a version of one of the Indian gods, like
like Vishnu,
where he has a bunch of arms, and his whole thing is he takes people's arms. So at one point he steals Terry Man's arms, so Terry Man for the longest time doesn't have any arms, and he's the one who I kept making fun of, where he laughs like gak 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 gak.
あれアシュラマンは平気な顔してますよ。2本の腕がダメになってもまだ4本残っていれば十分。竜巻地獄
He laughs like that. It's really stupid. But they fight them a bunch, and so then they beat them, save Wars Man, and what was after the golden masks. I feel like there's one more storyline in there, but eventually it leads to the final, what is the second to last arc of the Kinnikuman anime and manga, which is the Sunshine and Asura Man determine that the only reason why they keep getting beat is due to the power of friendship.
まずはこのビトレイの裏切りの箱で奴らのパワー源であるチームワークを奪ってやる。
And so I kind of missed this bit, but basically they start up, because obviously you're up until this point, all of the fights have been one-on-one, and you're like 100 episodes in. What other form of wrestling do you do if you've only ever done singles?
Well, you could do tag team.
You do tag team, Jordan. You do tag team matches. It's a tag team tournament.
My second guess was going to be Royal Rumble.
And what's really funny is you know how like a lot of anime they run out of material, so they make filler. That's why filler exists. This is the opposite problem. There's too much material for them to adapt. So like in a lot of cases they cut shit from the anime. So or from the manga. So in the manga, there's a big long storyline where they go around America and they fight a bunch of guys in America. That's where I said they had obvious parodies of American professional wrestlers. Well, that in that manga, Terry Man, or in that section, Terry Man and Kinnikuman become a team known as the New Machine Guns, and that's their tag team wrestling team. And so then when this tag team tournament comes up, Ashura Man and Sunshine have taken these dolls, which represent each of the wrestlers, and put them into a chest, which has cut them off from their friendship power. So now all of the good wrestlers are now all evil, and they're now all heels, and they're now all evil. And they all.
I need you to know, every time you say friendship power, I take you 10% less seriously.
You should, because it is what it sounds like. And so then the tournament basically is all of the good guys pair off into different teams with different names, and mixed in with 2 teams which are bad guys. To one of the teams is Sunshine and Ashura Man, and then there's another team where there's a guy named Budo Man and a character named he's called Quarry Man, but his good guy name is Quarry Man, but his evil name is Neptune Man.
敵超人のドンは我々ヘルミッショネルズだ。
何？ヘルミッショネルズ？
私はヘルミッショネル1号ことネプチューンマンだ。
そして私は2号ことビッグザブドウだ。
And he's basically Hulk Hogan. Like, he's got Hulk Hogan's mustache, he's got Hulk Hogan's hair. He's pretty much just Hulk Hogan. And they have magnet power, where they can throw people around using magnets. It's very strange. But
so, must be very frustrating that you can't finish it.
Well, that part of the arc, it ends with that part of the arc, where they get to the
Yeah,
end
but I
of
meant
it.
the show.
Oh, well, that's the thing is, so once they beat the tag team tournament, they beat the Budo Man. Turns out, big twist, he's actually a guy named King Neptune. So it's King Neptune and Neptune Man. And as the tournament goes on, as the good guys get beaten, their friendship power comes back. And part of the tournament is they all turn their back on Kinnikuman, and so Kinnikuman can't join the tournament because he doesn't have a partner, because Terry Man is acting like a dickhole. And so they eventually restore him and Terry Man's friendship. And the way that Kinnikuman, and this is what I like about Kinnikuman, is there'll be all sorts of callbacks to characters and moments that you've completely forgotten about because they happened like 100 episodes ago. So like after Kinnikuman wins the first Chojin Olympics, he goes on a tour, and part of the tour is he runs into a character called King Kamehameha, who
Goku?
Well,
He runs into Goku?
no, he's not Goku. King Kamehameha, named after the Hawaiian god, not the but that's what the move's named after. But anyway, he trains Kinnikuman, and so you know how Kinnikuman is known for the Kinniku Buster.
Mm-hmm.
That's only one of early on. He's like finishing move number 13, and he has like a bunch of them that he does, and they're all different. And the Kinniku Buster is just one of them.
Interesting.
And
Clearly the most successful one.
Right. They call it the perfect move. So one of the bad guys' moves he has, it's called there's a couple different variations. There's the Neo Kinniku Buster, and Ashura Man, he's got a move he calls the perfected Kinniku Buster. And so in order to defeat the perfected Kinniku Buster, Kinnikuman develops a move called the Kinniku Driver, which is the reverse of the Kinniku. So
should have called it the Super Duper Buster.
So in order to join the tag team tournament, Kinnikuman or King Kamehameha disguises himself as a character called Kinnikuman Great.
わしはその企みを防ぐために筋肉マンのパートナーになることに決めたのだ。
本当ですか？
わしが正義超人として若い超人たちにしてやれる最後のご奉公だ。
やったー！カメハメ師匠とコンビを組んだら怖いもんなしだぜ。
そこでこんなものを用意してきた。
黒の筋肉マンマスク。
若い肉体に混じってこの老体を晒せば相手に舐められる恐れがあるからの。どうだ？
紹介しよう。私のパートナーの筋肉マングレートだ。
行こう筋肉マン。
Which is basically just Kinnikuman, but he's black. And I mean, literally, it's just like the costume, the mask is black. And so a big portion of the mystery is who is under the Kinnikuman, because a big part of Kinnikuman is the mask. He wears a mask and he can't take off his mask. So amongst the bad guys, the question is, who is Kinnikuman Great? Who is Kinnikuman Great? And so at a point, Kinnikuman Great gets killed. He gets beaten and he gets killed and he dies. And in order to continue the tournament, Terryman disguises himself as Kinnikuman Great. And one of the moves they do, and it's the sickest move in that show, it's a movie called Muscle Docking. It's a move called Muscle Docking, where...
I'm not going to say what that sounds like.
Yeah, I know what it sounds like.
行くぞマッスルドッキングオートモグレートマッスルドッキングマッスルドッキングおっと筋肉バスターと筋肉ドライバーがドッキングした
なんとこれこそ夢のドッキングですね。
まさかこんなことができるなんていくら奇跡が得意の筋肉マンでも信じられない決まった
But one of them does a Kinniku Buster, and the other one does a Kinniku Driver, and they combine into one super move, and it's sick. It's honestly the coolest professional wrestling move I've ever seen, and it's physically impossible. You could never do it in real life because you'd kill yourself and the person you're doing it to. But it looks sick as fuck. So Terryman, as a favor to King Kamehameha, disguises himself as Kinnikuman Great. And so then for the rest of the tournament, is for the bulk of it, it's like, who is Kinnikuman Great? Because he seems like he's much younger and much sprier, and his moves are different, and he's doing moves differently. And there's a really funny, this constant bit where everyone's like, where's Terryman? Like, everyone just turned, and they're like, I don't... And the one girl's like, it just seems like Terryman has just disappeared, and we can't find him no matter how hard we look. And then there's a bit where Kinnikuman's Great's mask gets torn, and he's got blonde hair. And everyone's like, it's very strange how he has blonde hair. Where's Terryman? Yeah. Where's Terryman?
Where could he be?
Where could he possibly be? It does that a few times where, like, there's a couple of, I already mentioned a couple of the really good, like, there's a couple of really solid twists in this show. Like, just really good twists. But there's one in particular that's really bad where there's a character.
So bad it's good?
It's one of those, like, it's really obvious, and it does that thing, you know what shows do, where they'll do a big twist and they'll pretend like it's a big twist. And you're like, this is really... So, like, you remember Ramen Man?
Yes, I do.
He gets killed and beaten by some guy, and you think he's dead for, like, a huge chunk of the series.
Like DED dead?
Yes, like DED dead, yes.
Man,
and
that's pretty dead.
And another character shows up, and his name, instead of Ramen Man, is Mongol Man. You like the Mongolians, Mongol Man? And he has
I got it.
He has the same top knot that Ramen Man looks like, and he has the same head shape. And the only difference is the mask kind of looks vaguely feline, like it kind of looks like a leopard, but it is otherwise very obviously and evidently Ramen Man in disguise. Like, it's just really, and so then so there's a bit where it gets revealed that he's Ramen Man. And it's like, oh my god, it's Ramen Man. It's like, what? The guy who looks exactly like Ramen Man is Ramen Man? Who would have seen that coming?
What madness is this?
What madness is this? And so, yeah, so after they win so eventually it's revealed that the second Kinnikuman Great is Terryman.
It's the equivalent of, like, oh, that person who's wearing a black bandana has Hulk Hogan's facial structure and his handlebar mustache, and it's definitely Hulk Hogan. That was Hulk Hogan all along,
right? Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was like. It's like a bit like, I'm a Mustache Man, and the Mustache Man takes off his bandana, and it turns out that it's Hulk Hogan. And you're like, what? I had no idea it could have possibly been Hulk Hogan.
I'm Handlebar Man.
Who would have seen that coming? It's very strange. Yeah, and just like so many of the fights, like so many of the fights in the show go on for 5 episodes too long. So many of but it's just a consequence of the fact that it's a fucking anime from the 1980s and pacing shows are horrendous.
So any final thoughts?
There was one more thing. Oh, so episode 118, the next episode, it doesn't really address the fact that they've. Oh, sorry, I should say. So, it gets revealed that Kinnikuman Great is obviously Terry Man, and so they rebrand to the New Machine Guns. So now that's their tag team name. But so they win. The New Machine Guns win the tag team tournament, and the next episode of Kinnikuman is they're on a random spaceship in space, just partying.
Well, that's an odd change of events.
Yeah, and there's no reference to the fact that they've won this tournament apart from the fact that they're clearly celebrating, and there's no addressing of it. And and then it does one arc where it's the same deal. A bunch of guys show up in disguise and they reveal themselves slowly, and Kinnikuman wrestles them one at a time. It reveals it because within the context of the Kinnikuman universe, there are multiple factions of Chojin. So there's the Justice Chojin, who are the good guys, your Terry Man, your Kinnikuman. There is the Devil Chojin, that's Buffalo Man and a bunch of other guys. There is the
that's what made the DNP such a big deal, is that there was 3 different branches teaming up.
Yes, and so then there's the Devil Knights Chojin, that's Sunshine, and then there's the Ultimate Chojin. No, sorry, the Perfect Chojin. So there's the Perfect Chojin, and that's the guy that's Neptune Man, Hulk Hogan, and the Neptune King. And then this final filler arc introduces the Ultimate Chojin, which is another. And then there's the final arc had just sort of started, and it was they initially show up, and it's all of the character. Like there's a second Kinnikuman, and they're trying to figure out who's the real Kinnikuman. And that was the final bit. A lot of this show, the biggest detriment to the show. I am interested to watch when we come back to anime. I would like you to watch the Netflix one, and I also am going to watch the Netflix one because I want to see if you need to have seen the other Kinnikuman, if it is an enjoyable show, if you have not seen any of the rest of it,
or if Ultimate Muscle is enough.
It is enough, yeah, because a lot of Kinnikuman is reliant on knowing Japanese. Like there's a lot of jokes which are Japanese puns, Japanese specific puns, or Japanese wordplay, or like there's an entire bit in one of the last episodes.
Dragon Ball.
Yeah, but worse and more specific. And like there's an entire bit in one of the last episodes of the original Kinnikuman where they're, in order to determine which Kinnikuman is the real Kinnikuman, they're quizzing them on like kanji. Like there's an entire bit where they're teaching a lesson about kanji, and it's a lot of like, this would be funny if I spoke Japanese, or this would be funnier if I spoke like Kinnikuman does a lot of puns, Japanese specific puns that aren't as funny. And so there's a lot of episodes where like, just as it's getting interesting, it cuts away to Kinkitsuman, who you would know as Skullduggery from Ultimate Muscle. Him, eventually they give him a wife, and he's got a kaiju sidekick, and there's a secret agent guy who it constantly cuts away to, making jokes that I don't find funny and just make the pacing go on forever and make the show feel like it's going on forever. And like adding to episodes where it's like, if you cut this and you combine these 2 episodes, this show could be 20-30 episodes shorter, and it would be a better show for it. So I'm curious, because the trailers for that show make it look really serious. Like, and it's not to say that Kinnikuman isn't serious, but it's like half and half. So it'll be interesting to see if that anime cuts out Kinkitsuman and all those characters and just focuses on the wrestling, if this is a more concise and better show. Because there's an entire point in those last episodes of Kinnikuman where they're not wrestling and they're just doing this quiz show where it's like the disguised versions of the evil characters versus the good characters, and it's really tedious and an absolute slog. And you're
Sounds
just like,
like it.
just get to the wrestling already. So then Scramble for the Throne cuts straight to they just won the tag team tournament and they're in a parade, and it skips right to the next segment of the series. So I'm like, yeah, when the show is focused and it's just doing wrestling and the characters are fighting and doing wrestling moves, it's fun. But yeah, when it's trying to be funny, it is an absolute slog. That's it. That's Kinnikuman Part 2. We will be back for Part 3.
Okay.
At a later
So
date.
now,
At a later
now,
Hey there, everybody. It's NCAR Justin here. Let me know, have I motivated you to go watch or go check out Kinnikuman? If you are not, you should. It's pretty good, if not a little long. But this is just part 2. I'm going to come back for part 3 where we're going to talk about the Netflix Kinnikuman. But that comes later. That comes in the future. In the meantime, if you want to see the full anime part 5 special we did, you click the box on the left. Or if you just want to see a random video that YouTube thinks you're going to enjoy, click the box on the right. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. We put new videos out 7 days a week. Or you can just leave this video a like. That helps us out too. We'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day, everybody.